All right. Welcome, everyone. Welcome, Nana. Hello, hello. What's up, guys? There's more people coming in. Hey, what's up, guys? So, Happy New Year to everyone. Hey, what's up, guys? What's up, what's up? Hello, hello. Welcome. All right. Seems like waiting about 2 to 3 minutes did the trick. Seems like people are coming into the live stream. Awesome. So, before I begin, so for the people who want to join the newsletter and the group here, make sure you guys DM me on Instagram at chartsfocus1 once the live stream is over. Okay, again, just DM me on Instagram at chartsfocus1 and I'll give you guys the newsletter for this week, and we can discuss further details as well for you to join the group and the newsletter. So with that, let's go ahead and start off with the price action today. So the members and I, we were absolutely on point today. So the leaders that have been leading, so mainly semiconductors and software names have taken, seen huge profit taking today. For instance, Apple. Right? Apple was a pretty big one today, down around 3.58%. So that's a pretty large move down. And I mean, even just just in the daily time frame. We have had a large gap down, and we closed below the daily 50 SMA. So does that bode well for for the bulls on Apple? Not really, right? So tomorrow I'm going to expect a small gap up on most of these leaders. Again, the tech sector has been the leading sector, and specifically software names and semiconductor names. So I'm going to be expecting a small bounce, but I'm going to expect to see continuation of this profit taking into tomorrow. So now, is there a way to not focus on leaders? Yes. So if a certain sector is leading or lagging, right, you guys can look at the leaders or the laggards. So in this case, the leaders are now pulling back, which means on the other side, the laggards should logically be moving up. So that is exactly what we did, right? So if you guys take a look at this specific sector, XLV, the healthcare sector, right? So I gave a pretty good reason why we needed to be looking at this for the first day and month of this year in the newsletter. So make sure you guys DM me if you guys want that newsletter, and also if you guys want to join. Okay. XLV has been pretty much a big laggard since it started this consolidation, this very, very large macro consolidation since 2021. All right, so this one has been absolutely a big laggard. It hasn't gone anywhere. The price is right back to the prices that we saw back in 2021 and early 2022. So, it was pretty nice to see the confirmation of what we were looking at for this short week when we saw overall healthcare and biotech names having a nice surge to the upside while the leaders were moving down. So there's definitely a case of sector rotation going on, and that's certainly not an unusual thing to be seeing at the first day or week of a new trading year. And you guys should take notes on this. It is very, very usual to see sector rotation and money rotation, especially from leaders into laggards, right? Or even the opposite, right? Depending on how that previous year has performed, right? So in this case, we're seeing leaders taking profit. We're seeing the laggards coming out and showing some life to them. So all you have to do is literally just observe and look at specific tickers that you guys should remember and know in your heart and your mind, and just all you have to do is just literally just remember them, right? Memorize it and see where the money is flowing, right? And that's what I always teach my students, to be able to observe exactly where the money is going throughout different sectors and leaders and laggards. So it's quite a useful tool and skill to have for the long term. So again, healthcare was a major area to look at for this short week. Now, there are certain names that I've also had in my previous watch lists and newsletters, and this particular one was CVS. So CVS, we're looking at this one at this tiny micro bull flag, and we're able to see a nice breakout over 75.60, and it hasn't stopped from this point forward. And today it was able to break out a very tight consolidation again. So what we're seeing here is a pretty good staircase price action, a very structured price action. I mean, it literally looks like this, right? And that's what you want to see when we're looking at a very nice overall bullish ticker, individual ticker, and in an overall bullish sector like the healthcare sector. So, so far for quarter one, after today's price action, it's pretty safe to assume that at least the month of January, we should be focusing on such individual tickers, right, in the healthcare sector and the biotech sector. And or if you guys want to call it pharmaceutical companies or pharmaceutical tickers, they kind of go underneath the same general sector. So now one trading day does not mean that we'll be seeing that confirms that we'll be seeing that specific trend of only looking at healthcare names, but it is pretty important to understand what happened today, as all these, healthcare names and biotech names, for example, like Pfizer, right, PFE, had a very, very large move to the upside with volume, right, okay, to confirm that yes, there is some bullishness behind this move, right? There is bullish momentum behind this move, and it's confirming that the price wants to reverse higher and move up higher. So a lot of these healthcare names have seen a surge in share price, including the volume as well. That's the most important part here. So, as long as we see this continuation to the upside tomorrow, while we see leaders continuously taking profit, so that means they will continuously move down tomorrow after, again, a small gap up, well, you guys should know that you should be looking at the overall healthcare sector. All right, and the one ticker that we were looking at in the newsletter, it was the first the first main trade idea for this year and this week, the short week, was ABBV. So my members were able to cash this really, really well, right? I mean, this is a literal picture perfect 1 to 5 risk to reward swing trade, okay? And we're able to obtain that in one single trading day. So ABBV, right? Now, for the people who want to join, will see this newsletter once I send you guys it in the Instagram DM after you guys DM me. But ABBV, right? On the weekly and on the monthly time frames, right? We're looking at this ticker at the higher time frames only, right? So the weekly and the monthly. And before I delve in deeper into this name, the reason why we're looking at the higher time frames, the HTFs, starting into the new year, is that you want to be focusing on the bigger picture time frame and perspective. And so if you apply that to ABBV, it literally checks all the factors needed to be looking at this name in the higher time frames, right? First of all, on the monthly here, okay, let me go back to the monthly, or go to the monthly. The previous 2 monthly candlesticks clearly indicate that this one was ready to move up higher heading into the new year, right? Especially this specific monthly candlestick in November of last year. So this is what we have, what we call a dragonfly doji. And on December, we confirmed this dragonfly doji, which is usually considered a reversal candlestick to the upside. And the fact that December was able to break over the previous month's highs, okay, so again, the November's highs here, and continuously move up into major areas of resistances, including 155 to 156, okay, clearly indicates that this name is really just gunning to the upside. And again, if you just go down to the weekly, you get more data, right? On the weekly, we had a very tight bull flag here, or bull pennant. Doesn't really matter, they're synonymous names, so it doesn't really matter if you want to call it bull flag or bull pennant. But this weekly bull flag really caught my attention, other than the fact that on the monthly time frame we've been consolidating since, well, March of 2022, right? It's a multi-year consolidation here, and as we're consolidating, okay, we're literally underneath all-time high prices, right? So if we're able to break out of this descending resistance trend line in red, right, this is the reason why I put this in red so it pops out for you guys. And if we are able to break over this, then we should be retesting all-time high prices very, very soon. Now, do I believe that this name is a bit overextended now at this point on the weekly time frame? Yes, but it all depends on how we react to this descending resistance trend line. Now, you might be wondering, so what is this yellow arrow for here, right? So, first of all, okay, we have had 1 and 2 official retests on this descending resistance trend line. And, we haven't had a third retest yet. And based on how retests work on specific trend lines or resistance levels or support levels, you want to see at least 3 to 4 retests, but mainly 3 retests, because in the third one, you want to see how the price reacts. And usually, I would say 50% of the time, it's half and half there, we tend to get an immediate rejection, and then the fourth retest tends to lead into a breakout. But on the other times, On the third retest, we tend to get the actual breakout to the upside over that specific level, resistance level, or support level. And in this case, this descending resistance trend line. So what does that mean? Well, first of all, okay, as I said in the newsletter as well, I wanted to see a retest of 160, which is where I was predicting where the price would be retesting this descending resistance level. Now I'm slightly off by a few cents, but today's high today was 160.14, and it was pretty darn close to this descending resistance trend line. So if we're able to stick and stay over this 160 level, we should be able to see a break over this descending resistance trend line and head back towards a supply area that is in between. Okay, let me show you guys here. All right, in between a top range of 167.50 to around, I would say, 163.50. Okay, so this is the large supply range that I think the price can get to if and only if we see a breakout over this descending resistance trend line. All right, so again, this was a very, very good trade for most of my members here. We were able to get that entry point over 156 or over that 155 level, and we were able to see that 1-to-5 risk-to-reward ratio hitting once we saw the price at the highs today at 160.14. But obviously, that depends on the entry for each and individual member. I don't know if some of them got 155 or 156, but nonetheless, right, we were able to see the first profit target hit today at 160 flat. So, I'm very interested to see how this does and how it reacts once it actually sees a retest at this descending resistance trend line. Now, you guys might be wondering, how would you know if the price had retested this descending resistance trend line? Well, you would see a reaction, right? And that's exactly what we saw here on the first time that we retested it and the second time. Now, obviously, we wouldn't have known that there is a resistance here or a resistance trend line until we got the second reaction here, right? So this is kind of the confirmation that yes, we are forming this descending resistance trend line. All right, and obviously if you guys want to make it a lot more simpler on your eyes, just take a look at the monthly time frame and bam, there you have it. So again, for the next few weeks or even next few months, who knows, maybe the entire the first quarter of this year, ABBV might just be a very, very easy name to just swing to the upside and just have it ride on top of my daily 10 and daily 21 SMAs, or even on the weekly 10 and 21 SMAs, which are now starting to curl up higher. And eventually, most likely tomorrow, I'll be able to see the weekly 10 SMA curling over the weekly 21 here, my light blue line. Okay, so make sure you guys are following my mouse cursor closely. So again, the 10 SMA is my red line here, and my 21 SMA is my light blue line, and we're on the weekly time frame. We should be able to see a nice crossover, a bullish crossover of the 10 SMA moving upward over the larger 21 SMA, which will officially give us that confirmation that yes, the longer term trend is still to the upside after making a nice bottom at 138 back in November. So, as long as, again, we see a very good retest where we don't see an immediate rejection, and again, if that rejection leads into a reversal, then we need a lot more time, right? But if we do see some tight consolidation underneath this descending resistance trend line, and what I mean by that is if we do see the price sticking, or at least attempting to stick under this resistance trend line without veering too far away from it, right, then we would know and understand that yes, this name wants to break out of this resistance trend line. Okay, so again, ideally I wanted to tightly stay under this descending resistance trend line, so somewhere around 158 to 160, but realistically speaking, we'll most likely see another retest of 156 or 155, and that should come after we see an initial retest and rejection. But again, I don't want to see a large rejection where it turns into a reversal, right? That's exactly what we saw here, okay, and over here, right? We don't want to be seeing this, right? We do not want to see an immediate reversal to the downside after we see that rejection first. Okay, so yes, we're going to see a rejection, but we do not want to see a reversal. Okay, so ABBV is highly in focus, including a multitude of other healthcare names, because again, we're focusing on the laggards that are now getting the attention, right? And another sector there you guys should be looking at is the consumer staples. All right, consumer staples, and even even utilities, right? So utilities has had a pretty wild couple of years, starting I guess in 2022. It's been struggling really hard, but now after seeing that pivot between October to November, which again had successfully called out back in I believe July to August of last year, that there will be an official pivot between the transition from October to November. And if you guys don't remember that, well, you guys should be following me on Instagram and reading whatever I post, right? And also joining my live streams. I have stated that over and over again back in July and August across multiple social media platforms that I have, including Twitter and Instagram. So make sure you guys are following me, and always stay on top by reading whatever I post, right? Or listening to whatever I post. So again, that was a pretty good, successful, I guess, analysis there, as the market really absolutely just pivoted off from that transition from October to November. And I remember that day, October 27th was the official bottoming day before we saw that nice V-shaped recovery to the upside on the S&P 500. So XLU, even XLP, right, consumer staples, right, these have been a leader into this new year. All right, so these two sectors have been absolutely rocking it. One of my members and I have been tracking CELH, Celsius, right, this energy drink company, and it recently had a stock split, so it's gotten a lot cheaper and obviously a lot more liquid. And if you guys are wondering, the stock split was a 3-to-1 stock split. Okay, so if you guys want to know what the previous pre-stock split price was, just multiply the current share price by 3. That's it. Okay, so with CELH, this one was an absolute beast today. Again, confirmed by volume, right? It had double the average volume on the daily, right? And the price also closed at highs, which means this one has a lot more room to move to the upside. And initially for me, the target was 58 to 60, as that was the initial supply area. But now, since it has closed over 58, the lower range of that supply range, and right between 58 and 60, which is 59, this one should be able to go to 60 tomorrow and continuously and slowly move up higher into 62, which will be my next area for some profit taking for any bulls that are in this name since last year and or today. So CELH, another great name to be looking at. This one has been largely a leader, but as a name that's in the beverage, specifically beverages, right? And also it's a consumer non-durable, right? And overall the consumer staple sector seeing a very nice increase in interest, right? You will want to be looking at a name like this, or MNST, right? Monster, right? This is the direct peer of Celsius, right? Or if you don't want to call it peer, a competition of Celsius, or the other way around, right? Monster has most of the market share, but Celsius is starting to creep behind Monster, so they better watch out here. So, Monster, another great name to be looking at. It's again sitting right underneath all-time highs. A lot of these names are looking to have a very nice blue sky breakout into quarter one of this year. So make sure you guys are looking at all these names. And again, The names that I've shown you guys so far is ABBV, okay, in the healthcare sector, okay, and then CLH, all right, and MNST. Right? These are all very, very good names to look out for. Again, all these names had a significant move today that were backed up with volume. I'm repeating that because that's very, very important when you're looking at, well, when you're trying to look for a new trend for the new year. Right? Again, one trading day does not mean that we'll be seeing that trend for the rest of the year, but it's good to notice and specifically look at individual tickers that have made large moves in that specific sector that you're looking out for, specifically the lagging sectors that we were looking at, like the healthcare, consumer staples, and utilities, and looking at individual tickers that are part of that sector, right, and seeing which one had a very large move that has been backed up by volume. Okay, that has been backed up by volume. So again, these are the names that fortunately were skyrocketing today, and we were able to capture these because we were prepared last night, right? Again, if you guys want to join the newsletter, make sure you guys DM me and I'll send you guys this week's newsletter, and on top of that, I'll be giving you guys a special discount code as well to use that will only be available to use by the end of this week. So make sure you guys use that discount code. All right. Right. So basically, that's kind of it. I mean, one specific trading day for the new year does not mean we'll be seeing a trend for the rest of the year, but it can definitely set the trend for the next 1 to 3 months, which obviously is, if it goes on for 3 months, then that'll be an entire quarter there. As long as you guys are staying on your toes and watching where the money is going and which sector the money is rotating to. And again, gave you guys a hint, leaders to laggards, or can be laggards to leaders. That's a very, very easy way to look at it. Okay, and so far we're seeing the money rotating from leaders to laggards. So, make sure you guys, again, are staying on top of your toes and watching these sector rotations and money rotations. Right, or I guess money inflows and money outflows. But again, as long as you guys are watching these specific tickers that I'm giving you guys should be good for the rest of this short week. And obviously, the other tickers that I have not mentioned in this live stream that are in my newsletter for this week that I sent out to my members last night. All right. So hopefully that was helpful. And again, there isn't much to look at still, even after looking at the sector rotation, money rotation. Again, we can't say for certain that this is the trend that we'll be seeing for this year or even just this quarter. But it is important to note that this is happening. All right. So don't get too excited. Don't feel like you just need to be looking at healthcare stocks or biotech stocks for the rest of the year. All right, make sure you guys are following every single sector and seeing the sector rotations and money inflows and money outflows. All right, I'll repeat that over and over again so that it stays ingrained in your heads. All right. All right, so that is it for tonight. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will be doing another live stream as usual on Thursday at 8 p.m. Pacific Standard Time or 11 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And thank you guys for the likes. Wow. Seems like there's still some people coming in. So obviously you guys have come in when I'm about to finish here, but make sure you guys always watch the recording, which will be automatically uploaded to my channel here. So make sure you guys go back to the beginning and watch. All right, make sure you guys watch and listen. All right, and again, if you guys want to join, make sure you guys DM me after the live stream. I will be answering as soon as possible. All right. Okay, have a great rest of your night, and I'll see you guys on Thursday. Thank you guys so much for watching and liking this video.